Hey everyone, hope you're having a good day and a good week, and welcome back to another session. Today I designed a class centered around freeing up the breath, so be doing some breath exercises as well as just some good movements to free up some areas around the chest so we can breathe deeper and a more relaxing and mindful way. So find a nice comfortable seated position. We'll be here for a few minutes, so get a block or pillow if you need to raise your hips a bit to keep your legs from coming up so you can keep good spinal posture. And when you're set up, close the eyes and come into your breath. First, witnessing your natural rhythm of breath, noticing whether it's shallow or deep today. Start to exercise a little control over your breath. Exhaling deeper, activating the core. And on your inhale, first filling up the abdominal space, and then into the chest, and then into the throat. Three-part breath. And exhaling, reverse cascade. Carry on for a few rounds of the three-part breath. Be mindful of filling each of those spaces and witnessing the sensations around them. Your next exhale, release your control of the breath back to just its natural rhythm. And gently open the eyes. And now we'll do a couple rounds of kappa body, which we've done before, but I'll give us a quick instruction. So it's, as always, using a yogic breath just in and out through your nose, but it'll be a forceful exhale, pulsing your abdomen to expel the breath, and the inhale is just passive. You don't do anything. Just comes as you create a vacuum, comes into you. The universe is breathing you. So when you're ready, take a gentle inhale, and the first time we'll do 25 rounds, 25 breaths. And the second round we'll do 50. And at the end of each round, we'll do a full exhale and retain the exhale for a moment, and then a deep inhale, and then retaining the inhale for as long as it's comfortable. So when you're ready, take a gentle inhale and begin. Twenty-one, 22, 23, 24, 25. Exhale. Retain the exhale. And inhale. Big, deep inhale. And retain. Breathing out when you need to, slowly. Whenever you have exhaled, take a moment before the next round to let your breath relax again to a more natural rhythm. And then going into the second round, take a gentle inhale and begin. 1, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. Exhale deeply. Retain the exhale. And inhale. And retain. Again, whenever you've exhaled, take a moment to let your breath relax back to its natural rhythm before we move into the warm-up sequence. And then when you're ready, bring your feet out to one side, come to lay it on your belly for a moment, rocking back and forth, massaging the area around your sternum and your upper ribs. Maybe rolling out the neck too. And then reaching long forward with your hands, crawling along with the fingers for a full body stretch. And then roll over onto your back. For a moment, lift the knees and massage some of the muscles along the spine and the upper glutes. Bring your legs out straight. Reach long again for a full body stretch. And this time, we'll start to clench and open the feet and the hands. the same time, warming up all the digits and wrist and ankles. And for a little strengthening, you can also slowly increase the speed of your clenching and opening, but still focusing on really opening the digits and the arches wide. And then from here, grab your right wrist with your left hand and slide your back along the ground over to the left for a side stretch. And on your next exhale, back to the center and slide over to the right, grabbing your left wrist. And exhale back to center. Relax the hands down and then roll over to one side. Come into tabletop. And just gently rock back and forth over the wrists, maintaining a little pressure in the fingers. And then side to side. And then bring your fingers a little more outward now, maybe 45 or perpendicular to the mat. And rock back and forth again, staying wide and active in the fingers. And then go side to side. And then shuffle your fingers back again, either at a backward 45-degree angle or almost all the way back if it's comfortable for your wrists. And this time, a little more gently rock back and forth over the wrists. And then start to make just subtle circles. In reverse direction. Relax, bring your hips back a bit and stand up on your knees and shake out your wrists. Hook your toes and walk forward. Set up into a plank with the hands active in all corners, fingers spread wide and pressed down a bit. And then press away into the mat to come into our first downward dog. Walking your legs a bit, bending one by one into each knee to warm up the back of the legs. And then look forward and walk to the top of the mat slowly. Keeping bend in your knees as we still warm up the hamstrings. And here, interlace your fingers. Put the palms downward. And then on an inhale, stay long in your spine and hinge upward from the hips, reaching the hands overhead. And reaching upward to extend the spine. And maybe coming into a back bend from your thoracic area. Trying not just to press the hips forward. You want it to be a back bend rather than a hip bend. And exhale, relax the hands down through the heart and to the side in Tadasana. And scan your body for how it's feeling after the warm-up. Any areas of opening you already feel, or any areas of tightness that you need to work on or be mindful of. And now inhale, bend into the knees. Inhale the hands overhead. Exhale, hinge at your hips into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, extend through your spine. And exhale, step back to a high lunge. Inhale the arms up. Align your knee over your front ankle. And then pivot your back foot into warrior one, foot at roughly a 90-degree angle. And then a few options here. You can either keep your hands on the hips, bind your elbows with your hands behind your back, or interlace your fingers behind your back and then draw the palms together and draw the arms backward so you're opening the chest. But either way, you want to focus on keeping your chest open here. On an inhale, draw your hands backward or shoulder blades together. And on an exhale, fold forward to the inside of the left thigh. Inhale, press into the foot and lift back up. Exhale, forward fold. And one more time, inhale. Breathe into the chest. And exhale, forward fold. And then gently release your hands. Frame the front foot and square your hips back to the front. And step back into plank. And lower through chaturanga, or knees, chest, chin to the ground. Flip your feet backward. Inhale. Activate your back to lift the chest up. And then press into the hands while also pulling back on the mat a little bit. Draw the chest forward. Hug your elbows in and roll your shoulders down the back. Keep the chest open. Exhale back down to the ground. And press up into plank. And up and away into downward dog. Stay active through all corners of your hands, spreading the fingers. Apply pressure through the fingers. Pressing more of your chest towards the ground and the back. And more of your weight towards the lower half of the body. Gaze forward and step your right foot to the top. Coming into high lunge for a moment. Inhaling the arms up. And then pivot your back foot into a warrior one. You might need to step it in just a touch. And then taking the same bind that you had on the other side. And if you were binding fingers, bind the more awkward way this time, with a different finger on top. Inhale, draw the palms towards each other and arms down towards the ground to open the chest. And exhale, forward fold to the inside of the left or of the right thigh. Inhale up. Deep breath into the chest, gazing upward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale up one more time. And exhale, fold to the inside of the thigh. And gently release your hands, squaring to the front and pulsing and then stepping up to the top to meet the right foot. In forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale all the way to the top. Inhaling the hands overhead. And exhaling to the heart. And down to Tadasana. Inhale the arms up again. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, extend through your spine, breathe into the chest. And exhale, step back with your left foot. Align the heels, setting up for pyramid pose. And before we go into it, make sure you keep a slight bend into the front knee so you're not locking the joint. And then bring your arms up into a T. Inhale, and on your exhale, reach forward, extending first, and then coming down. You can place your hand wherever it can reach to, whether it's on the shin, the ankle, or even on the ground to the inside of the foot. And then bring the left arm up in line with the right. And try to, if your hips are going way back, try to readjust them so they're in line with the legs. And if it's comfortable for your neck, bring your gaze up to the left hand for a few breaths. Focusing on the chest area, as well as the left lower abdomen with the breath. And then bend further into the front knee. We'll just play around with half moon pose for a second. Bringing your weight into the front knee, your hand just out in front of the right foot, and then lifting the back leg. And it's okay if you only get here before the balance goes away. Just work on that balance a little bit, but you want to work towards lifting your left leg in line with the hip. And then raising the left arm up in line with the right. Keeping a nice L shape with the hips, with the legs. And then square back to the front. Place your hands down. Step your right foot back. And lower through Chaturanga into Cobra. Inhaling up. Keeping the chest open. Stay up here for a moment and then turn your neck and head to gaze over towards the left foot. Inhaling. Exhaling to the center. And inhaling, gazing over towards the right foot. And exhale back to the center and down. And press back up into plank. And up and away into downward dog. And then look forward. Work your left foot to the top and then shuffle your right foot in a little bit closer. And press up. Find pyramid on the other side. Aligning your heels. Bringing the arms out into a T. And then slightly bending through the front knee so you're not locking the joint. Inhale here. And on an exhale, start to reach forward, staying lengthened in the spine before folding down to the left. clasping your shin or ankle and bringing the right arm up in line with the left. And if it's comfortable for your neck, bring your gaze up to the right hand. And then look down, bring your weight into the front knee, bring your hand out in front of the left foot for support. And we'll play around with half moon pose for a second, working on lifting your back leg in line with the left hip. But also, you'll still get plenty of benefits if you're just working around with coming on and off the ground. Trying to align your left leg in line with or your right leg in line with the left hip, and both arms in a line. And then square back to the front, pulse into the front knee, and then step forward with the right foot into forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. And then inhale, bend into your knees, bring the hands high overhead. And exhale to the heart center. And down to Tadasana. From here, we'll really start to get the breath flowing, setting up for a flow in and out of chair pose. So normally we inhale into chair pose, but this time we'll inhale at the top and exhale into chair pose. And then on our inhale, we'll straighten back through the legs, open the chest, making a cactus with the arm, and exhaling back into chair pose. So we'll go for a round of 25 breaths. So when you're ready, inhale and exhale into chair pose. Inhale, open and cactus. Exhale, chair pose. Inhale, cactus. Exhale, inhale. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, and inhale. Hold for a moment. And exhale, relax the arms. Relaxing your breath back to its natural state for a moment. And then step out to the lengthwise side of your mat for a wide-legged forward fold. You can bring your heels out just a little wider than your toes. Bring the hands wide to the side. Inhale here, open through the chest, slight back bend. And then exhale, staying long through your spine. Hinge over your hips before folding down and dropping the hands. Inhale, press into the hands gently and lift the chest. And exhale, forward fold. And with your next inhale, press your right hand down in front of your gaze. And inhale the left arm out to the left side, trying to make a line between both arms. Big breath into the chest. And exhale, replace the left hand down and inhale the right arm up. And one more time each side. Exhale to the center. Inhale over to the left. Exhale down. One last big inhale to the right. Pressing down actively into the left hand to open up chest. And exhale down. Place your hands on your hips. Lengthen through the spine. Bend a little into the knees to support yourself, and then inhale, staying long in the spine, up to the top. And step back to the top. And I'll face you, but you can stay facing the top of the mat. And we've done this in a previous class, but I think we were sitting. It's another breath exercise, dynamic breath exercise, where we're twisting, tapping the chest on an inhale, exhaling to the center, inhaling the other side and tapping the chest. Like that. So we'll do a round of 50 or so, and then relax. So when you're ready, take an inhale, and then exhale, lengthen the arms, and inhale to the left, tap the chest, to the right, remembering to inhale when you go to the side, exhale at the center. One, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, and relax. Slowly swaying back to neutral. Back at the top. Relax into Asana. Letting your breath relax to its natural state. With your next inhale, reach overhead one last time. Exhale down through the heart center and hinge at the hips into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, place your hands down and step back into a plank where we'll just hold for several breaths to work on the abdominal muscles, which support your breath. And drop your knees. And we'll do a little counter stretch for the abs as well as a breath and chest opener. And we'll be setting up for camel, but I think we'll just do half camel today, as full camel can be a little intense. But if you've done it before and Um, your lower back is comfortable with it, you're welcome to do that full pose as well. So set your hands just on top of your hips. Take an inhale and an exhale. And on your next inhale, focusing again from your thoracic region, start to come into a back bend, trying not just to press your hips forward because that will compress your lower spine. So come into a back bend from the thoracic, perhaps until you feel the urge to press your hips forward. Just find that sweet point and breathe into the chest, hugging your shoulder blades towards each other. And don't drop your head back too far. That can be a little too much compression for most people's upper spine. On your next exhale, activate the core. Come back to neutral and relax for a second. Take another round of breath. And on your next inhale, come back into half camel again from the thoracic, breathing into the chest, hugging the shoulder blades towards each other and the elbows. Further open the chest. And with your next exhale, activate your core to come back to the center. Drop your hips down onto your feet and rest for a moment in child's pose. And then come back up to sitting on your feet. Bring your feet out to one side. Stretch your legs out long. Sitting directly over the hips. Activate your heels. And bring your arms up long in front of you. Inhale here. Lengthen a bit through the spine, and then exhale fully all the way through the abdomen to start reaching forward. Exhaling fully will help you go deeper. And then wherever your hands land is where your fold will be. And again, if you have those straps available, you can use that to bind it along the back of your feet. And remember, rather than just hunching forward, you want to first be reaching forward along with the spine, staying extended. But a little hunch will naturally occur because we all have a thoracic curve. And then gently release, sliding your hands back up the thighs. And lay down onto your back. Counter stretching with a full body reach, inhaling. Reaching out with your toes and your fingers, and give them a wiggle. And exhaling your hands down to the side, bringing your knees up over the hips, flipping the soles of the feet towards the sky, and finding happy baby pose. And then remembering to tug down on your feet a little bit to open the groin. And you can stay static or rock back and forth to massage the back. Feel free to play around a bit here. It is happy baby pose after all. And then release your clasp. Let the knees hover over the hips. Bring your arms out into a T. Readjust your hips slightly to the right. And then using support with your hands and your core, slowly lower over to the left with the knees. Helping your top knee down gently with the left hand if you need to. And then gazing out over the right if it's comfortable for your neck. And over time, you want to work towards your shoulders, both staying on the ground or at least close, so your right shoulder isn't as lifted off the ground. Next exhale, activate your core and press into the hands a little bit to lift the hips back up or the knees back up. Readjust your hips a little slightly over to the left. And on an exhale, activate your core to support the knees as they come over to the right. Completing the twist by gazing out over to the left. With your next exhale, press into the hand and activate the core. Support your spine. Readjust your hips. And slowly release all your limbs down. Set up for Shavasana. And with this closing of this session, and I thought it'd be nice to just leave you in Shavasana for as long as you'd like, with no traditional seated closing at the end of the class. But first, I'll lead us through a little body scan so we can be mindful of each body area and release any unnecessary tension before we settle into Shavasana. So find a nice, comfortable laying position that you can hold without fidgeting for several minutes. Start to be aware of your forehead, your eyebrows, and the eyes. Letting the eyes hang heavy in their sockets, releasing any tension. Bring your awareness to your jaw and your tongue. Let your tongue hang heavy. Release any clenching in your jaw that you're holding. Relax down the neck, the upper spine. Down both upper arms, forearms, and out through the hands and fingers. Dropping into the ground. Release down the upper back, the mid-spine, and the lumbar spine. Through your hips and your bum. And release any tension you're holding in your groin. Just let that area sink into the earth. Release down the thighs, calves, and out through the feet and toes. Relax, relax, relax.